Franchise Report. Reporting live.
Yes, sir. Franchise in the building. Franchise report. In fact, as it goes on another mother effing day. Shouts out Hot and the Ride in the building. And special guest today, the one, the only, Jay, the people's poet. Chattelle, what up?
Come on, you know your boy. This is Mr. Rhode Island. This is the loudest voice. I am the people's poet.
The people's poet. So do you do poetry?
Come on, you playing me. I'm spoken word artist, 5-time award-winning PBS producer, director, editor.
Keep going.
I am the proud owner of a construction company. I am a co-founder of the 501c3 status Jace the Healer Foundation, dedicated to my son. Don't play with me. You know, I lost him in 2014. I love him, man. We're doing some great things with that foundation. We're saving lives. I'm keeping my son's legacy alive. I'm a dad. I got a mission. You get my senior?
I feel you. So what's your main objective right now? What's the main thing you focus on in life right now? The business, the company, the poetry. What's the main thing?
I don't stop, brother. Like, whatever it is that God puts me on.
What's the main one?
The main thing is doing God's mission. I promise you.
Which is?
Everything. All of it. Producing, directing, editing.
So you're still
music, poetry,
you're still
the foundation.
You're still into the entertainment aspect of it.
I love the entertainment. I'm built for it. You know what I mean? From day one, I started off as Rocinio Ball. You know, Arsenio Hall. Remember this? Mm-hmm. Arsenio Hall. Who's old?
I'm old.
I played.
He had a whole section.
Where's the dog? I was Rocinio Ball. We had our own skits for a couple years at the Rhode Island Teen Institute and Spirit programs. We did a whole production for this stuff. I fell in love with acting. I fell in love with poetry. I fell in love, like it was in me. Matter of fact, I got a cousin that changed culture. That changed culture in America, called Jack Kerouac. Look him up. He was part of the Beatniks, Sammy Davis Jr. and a bunch of big names, like straight up big names. My cousin's one of the biggest poets that ever lived in our time. I promise you.
Fire. Is poetry big in Rhode Island?
I feel like it is now. I feel like we were some trendsetters right here because we had the From the Rip Productions, Christopher Johnson, Rudy Cabrera. I don't think there's a bigger poet than Rudy.
Rudy, what up?
He was my partner, my partner in rhyme. The guy was, back then, he had a product of everyone else's talent. He didn't even consider himself a poet back then. You can't stop and take your hat off now without saluting him. I promise you, Rudy's big.
Now you're an OG out here.
Yeah.
So you've been around for many years. You've been through many clubs since the days of Bootleggers, Van Gogh.
Everywhere you go, somebody know.
Let me ask you, what's your best era of living in Rhode Island? 1990, early 2000s,
now,
2010. Right now?
Yeah,
really?
let me tell you why. Because I'm doing things differently, man. Because I'm not in jail, right? I'm not getting arrested. I'm not getting shot at. I'm not shooting nobody.
How long was your vacation?
6.5 years. That's a long time, man. I gave 6.5 years to the state.
Okay.
It's too much time, man. It's too much.
So right now is the best time of your life.
Man, how can it not be?
Because
it's a different world we live in, right?
I get it from your point stance, but
it's a different world we live in.
Yeah,
but I tell you right now, why? I'll tell you why right now. Because the productive culture that goes on right now was not happening back in the day. You heard a couple of interviews ago, right?
We didn't have the social media and stuff like that.
We didn't have none of that. We didn't have none, and we were fighting with everybody. But everybody could get it.
But ask yourself this:
I shut clubs down.
Ask yourself this:
clubs lost their licenses when I walk in the door.
In 1999, imagine you had a Facebook. How would it be?
I wouldn't have it. That's not funny.
It wouldn't be.
I wouldn't have one.
We would have been bad.
I'm a different guy. I come from a real cultured family of Rhode Island, man. We're trendsetters in Rhode Island, my family.
So what's the goal now? The music and entertainment or the business? Because you have a great business that
I'll tell you.
You have a business that employs people.
I've been employing people since the 90s. I've been giving people the job since the 90s. I've been taking people off the street since the 90s.
You hire felons?
How many felons do I got?
I'm asking, do you hire felons?
That's not on the application. A matter of fact, I was part of the band The Box. That's never a question for me.
So you do.
And actually,
Yes or no? Yes or
yes,
no?
of course.
Okay.
And matter of fact,
That was the thing for me. I made sure that I made
you
sure
had
you
had to come from that culture to be part of one of my businesses. Like you had to hold your own. Concrete is like no other beast. Concrete is the hottest phase of construction across the board. Like we don't get lunch breaks. We don't get your little timeouts or whatever. We don't get none of that. We stop when the job is done, and you got to be built differently to do a job like that. There is no punch out. There's get punched out. You got to go
differently or physically.
No, mentally. Because I'll tell you right now, the littlest guy will surprise you when he's built different in the mind and is hot. You can't teach hot.
His work ethic will keep going and keep
The work
going,
ethic, man.
going,
He'll keep moving.
I get it.
And when you keep moving, you're moving, and ain't no one's gonna be mad at that. When you give it your all, there's nobody that's gonna fault you. You can be doing it wrong, but eventually you're gonna get it right. And when you get it right, you're clicking on all cylinders. I promise you that.
I feel you, family. What's next for the construction move? You trying to go bigger? You trying to retire? You trying to
You got that right.
pass this off to somebody else? Hey, kids,
I got
go ahead
children.
and run this bit. So pass it. You trying to pass it off to the kids?
My son's 10 years old. He's been on a job site for 3 years already.
You can't pass it off to the kids though, because he's only 10. So you got 8 more.
No, I got multiple children. So you
trying to pass it off?
Of course.
Why
am I putting all this work in for nothing? No, definitely not. So legacy, I'm doing it all for the legacy right now. I promise you. Franchise, I'm doing it all for the legacy right now. I'm trying, when I'm dead and gone, I'm trying to make an impact to this state, to this world, one way or the other. I want to make sure that I did my part. I'm trying to leave it better than when I found it. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to set examples right now.
Now, do you preach that? You know what?
Say it again?
Do you preach that? Leaving something for our kids?
Let me tell you something. I embody that now. I don't preach that. I embody that. It's the way I live my life now. Before it was
leaving a legacy. That's the word.
Leaving a legacy.
That's the word I'm looking for. Leaving a legacy.
100%. Like before, I didn't think I was gonna make it. I didn't make it. Was 18. I didn't think I was gonna make it to 21. I think it was 25. Then 29. My life was cut short. I lost my legs. I had to learn how to read, write, walk, talk all over again. When I meet people, I'm on a different level now. Like I heard God's voice. Many people can't say that. I'm telling you right now, I heard God's voice.
What did it sound like?
It was the most confident, soothing voice I ever heard in my life.
What did it sound like?
It was healing. I promise you. It healed me. I was blind, right? I couldn't move. I'm torn open, broken. I was in a motorcycle accident out on the Cape, Cape Cod, Route 6. I was at the Sugi dealership, and I was out there about, 75, 100 bikes. We're out there. I was the guy on all the videos back in the day. We didn't have YouTube. We had VHS, we had DVD back then. DVD just started getting.
I still got DVDs.
Just started getting there, right?
Got to shop and keep it full.
So I was on every. If you got some VHS of some motorcycle riders, if you got some DVDs of some motorcycle riders, there's a good chance you're gonna see me in the background because I was that guy doing all of it.
Now I do got a question to ask you. I need to know about the times past. Statute of limitations have passed.
Yeah.
You driving the illegal bus to concerts.
Come on, why are you telling on me for? You're right. It has.
Time passed.
I'm pretty sure.
You could be. Tell me about driving the illegal bus to tours with no registration, no license. Let's for a quick
state
second.
Property.
Let's talk
For state
about
property.
I want to hear about this real quick.
What's your boy's name again? I forgot his name.
Just rapped and walked out. You drove for him. A.K. Davila.
Yeah. So I was reached out by your boy Charles
Brown.
Charles Brown, that guy's a major. He's a major movement in Rhode Island. If people don't know, pay attention, man. That guy is major in Rhode Island. He reached out to me because I had a show on Music Fiend. He has his stuff. You know what I mean? He was working real hard. He seen I just copped a bus for my cousin Alpine, who owned a.
That's your cousin?
Yeah. So yeah, of course. The Cellos is my family.
What the hell? What up?
Listen, I'm across the board, bro. I got a humongous family. All of them are business money makers, movie makers. You know what I'm saying? So I copped the bus from my uncle and my cousin, and Charles hit me up. He said, Joe, Jay, you want to put that bus to work? I got state property. We got a show in New York. We got a show in Philly. We got a show in D.C. I said, bro, I ain't never done nothing like that. What am I going to charge these guys? He said, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. I said, all right, cool. So I went and got some food, some drinks, some extra activities.
Decked out the bus.
Right, I decked the bus out. We put a bunch of rappers on there that are doing A, B, and C shows in Manhattan. Executive producers across the board, like the major of the major guys were there listening, watching. I'm the bus driver, but I'm more than the bus driver. I'm security. I'm the poet, but I'm security. I'm the bus driver. I'm provider. I'm the producer. I'm the director. I got 5 awards at PBS already. I'm trying to find where I'm fitting in. You know what I mean? I come from this family that you really don't want to touch. You know, like we are them guys. My brother's first middleweight champion of the Rhode Island, Todd the Hulk Chattelle. You know, you heard what I said? First middleweight MMA champion.
I heard you.
UFC, M1 Global. You get what I'm saying to you? Like, that's dangerous. Like, that's not a regular dude. You get what I'm saying to you? My grandfather was Muhammad Ali's bodyguard. Let's talk about my chip on my shoulder. My father, right? My father, they rewrote the manslaughter law after my father. My father killed a couple people. He told me not that long ago, about 7, 8 years ago.
So should we talk about this? You sure we
Listen, I'm everywhere right now. I got a book coming out now. We need to talk about it. So I got 3 books right now. One is done. I got a book that's done, and we're going through the edits right now, back and forth. Within 2 months, it should be on the shelves. You should be able to pull up on Amazon Prime, Amazon Books, all your book shelves and stuff like that. It's done. My first memoir book is done. I got 3 books. My first one though is done. I got an album. My album's done. I'm trying to set them all off at the same exact time. My album, I was about to release it last year, and I put it back on the shelf because the book, I was working on it, and I couldn't release. I feel like the book feeds the album. The album feeds the show feeds the podcast. The podcast will in turn feed the book. So I started revamping. I was like, wait a minute, I put the brakes on it. Motif started backing me for a little while.
That's the Motif magazine.
Motif, they had someone over there that was really believing me. I had a documentary film when Rhode Island hosted Hollywood here. We were the only film production company that shut the entire theater down, and they had to turn everyone away. The governor showed up, the mayor showed up, Channel 12 showed up, Channel 10. Everybody showed up. When you got major Hollywood, they all filled the studio and couldn't even do it. Your boy and his production team, we shut the whole theater down.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I'm only saying that because Rhode Island shows love to my family.
That's what I'm talking about. Real quick, out of respect for Leticia, because she would have asked you this.
Don't play with me.
Asked you this.
You know I'm hip hop.
Who's your top 5 of all time?
I'm different. You know this. I'm different.
Let's find out right now.
I'm different. So. Wait, you're missing, Leticia. Listen, yell at him for not giving me my 5 Wheel of Fortune, Vanna White, RSTLs.
Give us your 5. Give us your 5.
No, give me the 5 that I'm not allowed to.
Okay. Pun, DMX, Jay-Z, Biggie, and Tupac are already there. Okay. My bad.
Come on.
Jay-Z, Biggie, Big Pun, Big L, and Tupac are already
there. Oh, so X is good on the list.
X is still there. Nas is still there.
All right, big claps. So X is my number 1.
Gotcha.
Let me tell you why. I personally met him, but he was the first spoken word artist. He was the first rapper that showcased spoken word, and I didn't even know what that was. Right? Like he really went in. I was like, why is this man talking,
rapping with no beat?
Right? That's crazy. Now your boy's a spoken word artist. I travel north to south, east to west. I've been on top with Snoop Dogg in South by Southwest, Austin, Texas. You know what South by Southwest is?
Yeah, of course, I've been there.
Dorito stage, right? Snoop Dogg and his people. I'm on top of the buildings, right? I got all the receipts. I'm on top of the building with Snoop Dogg, all his people, because of your boy Bobby Brown and High Times Magazine invited me down because of the vibe. You get what I'm saying? Rhode Island got a whole vibe.
All right, so DMX is number one.
So
Number two.
DMX is number one. Number two, I'm gonna keep it local for a real reason. Chachi Cavallo.
Chach, what up, Pawtucket?
I
What's good today?
promise you, the guy belongs worldwide. He is worldwide, but he belongs worldwide.
Yes.
Like like his music reaches me differently. It really, really reaches me differently. So he's my number two for a real reason. You won't be disappointed. Find him on everything you can listen to, because he's number two. I promise you. My number three, which was my number one growing up, right? Because I'm a different person now. My whole life has changed. But Scarface, let me tell you, he's a
It's
poet.
my block.
Oh my God, no! My diary was
That
different.
was fire too.
My diary was my diary was like it was like he was writing about my life story, right? And he knew me and my family. Like it was like a movie reel. When I would put that on, like it was an anthem. You get what I'm saying to you?
I get it. Scarface is that guy.
Scarface
Number
was
four.
Number four is Nas. I cannot deny it. So
It ain't hard to tell. I excel.
let me tell you something.
Nas is a beast.
And he reinvented himself right now,
And
right?
he's still going.
Right. So number five.
This is
There's
it. This
I
is
I
it.
don't
Close
listen.
us out, baby. Close us out strong.
I'm gonna keep it local. You're saying top five all time, right? I already know he's gonna be everybody's top five by the time he gets our age. Corey Kojo, I promise you, you might not know him now, but everything he touches is raw to the door. Corey Kojo, my nephew. I promise you, find him on anything you can stream. Corey Kojo.
So you vouching for him?
1,000%. And I'm OG, man. I'm hood. I'm OG. I'm the streets, but I'm a preach.
All right, respect it. Now, before we get to your joint, out of respect, anything you want to say we didn't ask you?
So 10 years. 10 years ago, my son drowned in a pool in Cranston. We made national news. I've been on CNN. I've been on every national news network, ABC, NBC, for multiple reasons, including the one I'm talking about right now. 10 years ago, I lost my son July 3rd in a pool accident. We were priming him for the major life. He was, we closed him out with a multiple award-winning kids show. You ever hear this guy, Tony the Dancing Cop? Mm-hmm. All right, so my son was on that from 2 weeks old on. And he ended up, he was just something different, franchise. Let me tell you something. I'm sure you heard a couple stories about my son. So we, his mother and myself, we came up with, at the time I was producing, directing everything. I was co-founding a couple of different production companies, and she wanted to run with something to keep our son's legacy alive. So we came up with Jace the Healer Foundation. Jace the Healer Foundation is something different. This song was written post him. This song was written about my daughter being beat up in a domestic violence.
Jeez, family, you went through a lot.
Like 2 weeks, the very next day of her house burning down in Central Falls, which also made multiple news from here to Boston. It was crazy. So, listen, the story's real, bro. The story's real.
Is it all in the music right here?
You got that right. And this is
Introduce it.
This is 3 a.m. By Tech and Corey Kojo, and produced by From the Rip Productions, featuring your boy. This is spoken word. This is poetry at your finest. I promise you.
Hey, best way to find you. All your socials.
Jay Chattelle, the people's poet, everything.
And there it is. Let's get to it. 3 a.m., baby.
Turn it.